Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be doing a crochet kit from Five Below. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, I have a viewer request. This was from Five Below. They are sold out on the website, but I know that these are floating around in the stores. So definitely check out to see if they still have these. Some of you may have them as of now. This crochet kit is made by Innovative Designs. And I'm not going to lie, you guys, I don't really like these kits. If you've seen my unboxing, I have bought Chucky, Mike Myers, Jason, and Pennywise. I was going to say Pennyworth. Pennywise from It. And I have struggled with two of the kits. I struggled with Jason and It and Pennywise, and I just dropped it. It wasn't a viewer request, so I didn't even do it. And then I did Mike Myers, and I ran out of material for that. So I'm really hoping that this one is going to be good. So this is a viewer request, and we're gonna try to get this done. So let's get started. In this kit, oh, and I forget that they taped the heck out of it. I want to show you the contents of this before we get started. If you need to speed up or slow down the video, go ahead and click on the gear button in the corner there. There are playback options to go fast or slow. If you don't need to hear me talk, you can lower the volume on your device and then click on the CC closed caption button. Okay, I'm having some focus issues. Let me come back. Alright, so hopefully that fixes it. Technical difficulties today. Alright, so here we have our little pouch filled with the smaller amounts of yarn along with our crochet needle. We have safety eyes. It looks like we have some felt stickers, a plastic sewing needle. Then here we have more yarn. We have our bag of stuffing. Oh, and that didn't help it. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know why it's so temperamental today. And then we have our sheets of instructions that hopefully won't be a nightmare in itself. All right. So I'm going to set these things aside for now. What you want to do is you want to get yourself a packet of these stitch markers. They're going to help you out because the more the merrier. Right now I have 5. I do have to find, I have a pack of these. There's a lot of them. And some of the instructions are going to like tell you some repetitive things that are going to involve, better involve you getting stitch markers so you can easily keep count of where you are in your project. Okay. So, comes with abbreviation, legend, as well as a list of text instructions of how to do each stitch. So all of this you're not going to need because I'm going to explain it to you. So at least we have that going. The instructions, all right, let's take a quick glance. So these ones actually look like the Mike Myers ones. So I am grateful for that. Thank goodness. So I guess let's just see the contents of the instructions and if we run out of material. So you guys, just to let you know, because I get questions all the time, listen, these videos are a supplement to making Chucky. Okay, due to copyright, I am not allowed to show any instructions or answer any specifics about the instructions. So hopefully you have this kit and you can just use this video just to help you start the project and start the stitches, because that's basically what my channel is. I don't show you any patterns or anything, but I do teach you basic stitches to get you by in crocheting and knitting. So, and hopefully, you know, it's my style. Obviously there's other ways you can do it. So if you don't prefer my way of doing it, then, you know, you can always find another video of someone that can help you, better help you, because not everybody's style is going to be the same. So let's get right into this. I'm going to get my crochet needle out, and it looks like we're working with a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. Oh my gosh, I really hope that this focus thing, I think I have an idea what it is, but all right, so we're going to start with the oatmeal yarn. Not for nothing, this doesn't look like a lot. And these colors are a little out there, so I don't even know if I'll have backups to it if I run out. But I'm just going to unravel this, and I can see the other end is right here. This is more tucked inside this rinky-dink spool, so I'm going to use this end. This one that clearly was on the outside, I'm going to keep on the outside, because when you grab yarn from the outside, the force of pulling it tends to spin it. It's going to spin everywhere, and it's not going to be a fun time. This hopefully will not do that as much. Let me see, I'm going to put a little weighted thing in here. There's tools and machines out there to make it nice and smooth, but you know, I don't want to spend too much money on this stuff. I mean, this is like $5, I think. But anyway, so let's get started. We've got to do a magic ring, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is for righties. If you need a lefty, it's pretty much the same. You just have to use your left instead of your right. So we're going to take this yarn here and wrap it around our finger 3 times with a little bit of overage so that you can put your middle finger on there. Then you can take this opportunity to straighten out your strands of yarn, tighten it up a little bit, not too tight. We're going to stick our crochet hook underneath the 3 strands just like that. And we're going to pull the hook back out, but we're going to take this strand, hook it, and drag it underneath these 2. So hook that yarn, turn the hook sideways so that you can tuck it easily underneath the 2 strands. If you don't twist it sideways, you're going to hook the other 2 as well. So just turn that hook sideways. So now we have this kind of a situation here. What we're going to do is a yarn over, and yarning over is basically putting this feeder yarn over the hook. So let's yarn over like that. See, the yarn over the hook, and we're going to pull this strand through that loop. This is going to close your magic ring. Okay, so now you can let go of your middle finger, and you can slide the magic ring off your index. Alright, so from here we're going to do round 1, and it's talking about single crochet stitches. So I'm going to actually show you how to do single crochet stitches. It's one of the simplest, not the simplest, but one of the simple stitches you can do in crocheting. So you want to stick your hook into the magic rings like this. Then you want to yarn over, so feeder yarn over the hook just like that. Then we're going to pull this strand through the magic rings like that. So you have 2 stitches on your hook. Well, then we're going to yarn over again, and we're going to pull this strand through these 2 loops, and that's it. We have our first single crochet stitch. Let me show you the anatomy of a single crochet stitch. You look at it sideways, and you have these 2 loops hugging the magic ring. You have your top stitch here for your single crochet stitch. If we turn it top side, you can see that there is a braid, and it consists of 2 loops, one on the left, one on the right, and that's our single crochet stitch. Alright, let's do this again 2 more times with you guys. Stick your hook into the magic rings, yarn over, pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So now we have 2 single crochet stitches. We turn it top side, it looks like a braid. You have a loop on this side and a loop on the other side. Alright, one more time with you guys. Stick your hook into the magic ring. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull that through those 2 loops, and we have our 3rd single crochet stitch. 1, 2, 3. Turn it top side and you have this braid going on here. It's very light, so hopefully you can see it. You have a loop on this side and a loop on this side. So from here I'm going to complete the rest of the single crochet stitches that we need for this round. What you can do is rewind this video and replay it until you're comfortable doing the stitches on your own, but I'm just going to continue from here. Alright, so then now once you've completed your single crochet stitches, what we're going to do is the next steps. So I like to hold my hook underside. I like to get underneath the hook. Some hooks they look like, well, yours, if you came from the kit, definitely looks like this, but most of them look like this. This is so that you can rest your thumb and your index. Almost ergonomical, but yeah, they make it that way. So placing it underhand and holding it like this will relieve the tension. It keeps you from making super tight stitches and it keeps you relaxed. So you don't want to tense up, because depending on how big your project is, your hand's going to get cramped. So for me, this position is the most comfortable and relaxed position. Now, once we get here, you just want to overhand it just for a minute. So we're going to overhand, which is pretty much putting your hand over the hook. So we're going to hold the bottom part of this magic ring. Okay, so we have our little excess piece. We have our single crochet stitches. Just hold the ones that are down here, far from the hook. You want to squeeze it just snug. You don't want it to be too tight. What we're going to do is pull this excess piece, because we have these 2 loops to disappear into our magic ring. So the point of the magic ring is that we're big enough to fit all the stitches, and then when we're done, we close the hole to nothing, and it's magic. Not really, but alright. So the instructions tell you just to pull tight and to close. That's all well and fun, but what you're going to find is one loop is going to go in, the other one's just going to bunch up and get stuck, unless you sit there and really pull the crud out of it. And we're not trying to do that here. We're trying to make everything nice and easy. So what we're going to do is pull this excess piece, and we're going to focus on which loop goes inside first. So take this piece, pull it out, and then see which side goes in first. If you're having a hard time pulling, you have to lighten your grip. Don't hold this too tight. So we're pulling this, and then I can see that this front one moved first. So once you've identified the loop, it could be this one, it could be this one, you want to pull the lower part out. You don't want to pull the part that's on top here. Whatever's near to this excess piece you want to pull. So take that loop and carefully pull that lower end out. As you can see, the other one's already going in, disappearing. You want to pull that until that other loop is all the way in the magic ring. Alright, so now that you can visually see it's gone, there's a slight little hole there. So let's make that go away by pulling on this one. Okay, so we're going to pull this until this loop disappears all the way in. And you may have a little tiny hole, but you also have a little, you can always pull a little bit more. So what we're going to do is pull the excess piece in the opposite direction and a little bit up, like maybe in a 15 or 45 degree angle. And we're going to pull this. You're going to feel a little give. Don't pull too tight. It only takes a little, but now we have our magic ring closed. And that's exactly what you want. So what I'm going to do, and like I said, you want to get these markers. I'm going to place this marker under the last stitch we made. And this is going to help me keep track of how many stitches I have, how many I'm adding, and all that jazz. So what I'm going to do is stick this marker underneath the braid. I showed you there's one loop on this side, one loop on the other. You just have to take your marker and slip it under that stitch. Make sure you don't pierce the yarn because that, destroys it. If you pull it, you should see like a nice clean hole in there. If you split it, you might, you're going to see fringe and all that. All right, so now we can move on to round 2. So for round 2, oh, this is cute. It's basically doing an increasing stitch, and I say it's cute as a sarcastic thing because they could have said increasing stitch, and they don't use that terminology. Increasing stitch is universal. But yes, there's a little question mark as to what are we increasing. Looks like we're using single crochet stitches most of the way. So what we're increasing are single crochet stitches. So what we're going to do, we're going to put 2 single crochet stitches in each stitch, and that's pretty much called an increasing stitch. So what you want to do is from the hook count the number of stitches that was required for round 1. So once you've counted that, we're going to stick our hook into that last stitch, because sometimes after the first round, because we closed up the ring, the stitches get bunched and it's hard to see, and it's also a light color, so I have a hard time seeing, and I'm right here, you're just seeing it through the camera. But yeah, so count back from the hook the number of stitches we needed for round 1 and stick your hook into the last one. So like I said, an increasing stitch is basically putting 2 single crochet stitches in this stitch. So I'll show you how to do that 3 times. So we stuck our hook into this stitch, we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull up a loop so that we have 2 loops on our hook. Then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. So we have our first single crochet stitch. So what we're going to do now is stick our hook into that same stitch, you guys. We're not going to the next one, we're just using the same one that we just used. And we're going to do another single crochet stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops on your hook. Then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. So I don't know if you can see it because it's light, but we have 2 new single crochet stitches, and it's coming out of this one stitch here. All right, so we're going to do this again. We're going to do an increasing stitch, which is basically 2 single crochet stitches in the next stitch. So put your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over, you're going to pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops on your hook. Then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. We have our first single crochet stitch. Then we're going to use the same stitch, stick your hook into that same stitch. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through those 2 loops. So again, we have 2 new single crochet stitches, and they're coming out of this one right here. So one more time with you guys. Into the next stitch, put in your hook. We're going to do an increasing stitch, which is basically 2 single crochet stitches. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop so that we have 2 loops on our hook. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So we have our first single crochet stitch. Then we're going to stick our hook back into that same stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So we have 2 loops on our hook, and then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull through those 2 loops. So again, 2 single crochet stitches coming out of one stitch. Alright, you guys, so from here I'm going to do the rest of the way, and you can do that as well. Rewind the video if you need to until you get comfortable doing these on your own. You should at least by now have a little easier time doing the single crochet stitches. It's just now learning things like increasing stitch that could be a little more difficult. Okay, so I'm actually at the end of the last stitch with the marker. So this is going to show where I should end my instructions here. So I'm going to stick my, you can either remove it now or remove it later. I'm going to remove it later. So stick your hook into the stitch that has the marker, and we're going to do our 2 single crochet stitches. Okay. And then once we get done with that, we can remove the hook, but you want to replace it under the last stitch of round 2. You always want to mark where the last stitch you made from the previous round so that you know where you're ending. Okay. So now for round 3, we have a parenthesis issue. I was going to say parenthesis issue. It's not an issue, but the parentheses are pretty much telling you this is a set of instructions that we're going to be concentrating on. Usually it's followed by how many times, but in this instruction, I don't know why it's doing it. It's just putting parentheses around the bunch. So let me see. Oh, okay. Their version of repeat is around. So what we're doing is taking the instructions in the parentheses and we're going to repeat it all the way around. So what it is a combination of single crochet stitches and the increasing stitch, which is the 2 single crochet stitches in each stitch. So since I've already taught you those 2, we're going to do that. Okay? But again, take the instructions and repeat it as many times as you need to go around the whole thing. Okay, and then in the end, if you notice there's a parenthesis with a number, that's the number of stitches you should end up with. So if you are a beginner, or if you continuously stop what you're doing, when you're done with the round, you can go back and count your stitches in the end, and they should match up to the number of stitches at the end of these round instructions. So like I said, I'm just alternating these single crochet stitches with the increasing stitches all the way around. And then I am gonna do a little count. I like to do counts, especially as the project gets bigger, just so that I make sure that I have all the stitches that I need for the round. And this is a great way to pick up any mistakes or anything. But I'm gonna go and remove the marker and place it under the last stitch we made. I'm gonna do a quick count. All right, so now that we have the right number of stitches, we're going to move on to round 4. So again, we have this parenthesis situation. We have to do a combination of single crochet stitches. Oh my gosh, I hate how they write this stuff. Alright, so it looks like we're doing a combination of increasing stitches and single crochet stitches. So it's kind of flopped, and then they put a number of each. So I'm going to do that now. gosh, I lost my place. So this is why we mark it. Okay, found the problem. Well, I guess that was a good thing that happened, because again, with that marker, I'm able to track back to where I started so that I can count the stitches that I've been making to make sure that I'm in the right spot and I have the right amount of stitches. So I'm going to replace this marker, put it underneath the last stitch we made, and just for my sake, because I do this all the time, I'm just going to count the number of stitches before I move on. Okay. So now we're going to do round 5. So again, round 5 looks like it's the same. Round 6 is going to be a little doozy, but round 5, we're going to be alternating single crochet stitches and increasing stitches, or 2 single crochet stitches in each stitch, and they tell you the number of stitches you need. So let's do this. All right, replace the marker under the last stitch you made. All right, so for round 6, we have a bit of stuff here. We have to do single crochet stitches, and then we have a bracket. So let's do the single crochet stitches first. Yeah, I like to break things down, because it can get a little overwhelming when you read the whole thing at once. So do your single crochet stitches. All right, and then what we're going to do are the brackets. So we have a combination of increasing stitches, which is the 2 single crochet stitches in the same stitch, and then we have single crochet stitches, and then it says to repeat 5 times. So that's what I'm saying. Usually these instructions in parentheses tell you how many times you need to do something. So let's start doing the parentheses. All right, so I did that once. I did that twice. Okay, did that 3 times. So I did that 4 times. One more time, you guys. Okay, and then the last bit of instructions is a combination of single crochet stitches and an increasing stitch. Oh no, the other way around. A combination of increasing stitch and single crochet stitches. Could you reverse it? Maybe. But I guess it wouldn't grow in the areas that it wants you to grow. So I would follow the instructions. Alright, so I'm going to remove this marker and we're going to place it under the last stitch we made. I'm also, again, going to count it just for me. So I suggest you do it for you as well. Alright, so we have the number of stitches required. Alright, so let's work on round 7. I'm normally a lefty, so I had to think for a second there which hand I put my feeder yarn around. Oh. Yeah, it's crazy. I am predominantly lefty, but I did learn how to do a number of things in righty, so I can switch. I'm more comfortable with lefty, but after doing righty videos, more so than left over time, I really get comfortable with my right hand. So when I have to stop and think about it, it's because I'm really confused. But yeah, so round 7, we have, it's a little less crazy than round 6. We just have 1 pair of parentheses, and we are going to be alternating increasing stitches with single crochet stitches all the way around. So let's do that now. So as you can see, once you learn the stitch, it's really the magic ring and the stitch that need to be learned. And when you can understand the instructions, it's pretty much doing the same stitch mostly over and over again in conjunction to the instructions. So hopefully just me teaching you how to do the magic ring and single crochet stitches helps out. Alright, so I got that. I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to do this all the way around. And pardon the background noise. I do live in a single bedroom apartment. probably 700 square feet, and the sound is just, you know, there's nowhere to get away. So if you hear me talking low one time in the video, or it's probably because people are asleep. So, you know, do what you can with what you got, right? All right, once all the way around, I'm going to be replacing the marker under the last stitch we made, and we're going to move on to round 8. So this is going to be a little more involved. We have to do single crochet stitches, so do that now. Then we have a parenthesis of instructions to do, and that is going to be an alternation of the increasing stitch, or 2 single crochet stitches, mixed in with some single crochet stitches 5 times. So I'm going to call out, for my sake, because I'll lose count, I'm going to count out loud the number of times I get through this parentheses. So this is 1. Two, three, four, and then 5, All right, and then after this, we have an increasing stitch. Oh, and I already see a problem. I know, I kind of slowed down. Well, you finished the round. We have an increasing stitch, and then we have single crochet. No, wait. Yeah, an increasing stitch. Oh, no. Oh, I did good. An increasing stitch and single crochet stitches in the end. Man. One thing that I do is read the wrong line. You know, especially when it's too close together, they should probably put like a space after these rounds so that you're not reading everything all together. All right, remove this marker, replace it under the last stitch we made. For stuff like that, when you have to repeat things 5 times and it's getting a little bigger and you don't know if you're going to get interrupted, you could also use the markers to just mark off after each time you finish a parenthesis. So like I said, that's good with the markers. I probably should have done that. But anyway, so now we're going to do rounds 9 through 14. So again, this is where the markers come in handy. So let's say this marker here starts round 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, wait, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and I think I remember putting my markers, yeah, they're here. When I went on my trip and I tried to do Jason, I stopped because I hit the instructions just were madness. So, or no, it wasn't the instructions for that one. It was running out of yarn. So I decided to pack it up and just do it when I come back, and I didn't. So here's the pack of markers. I actually have been collecting these from every single crochet kit or knitting kit that I've done, or it's usually crochet kit. So you can buy a pack of these for a few dollars and you'll probably even get more than what I have. So just saying, definitely a good investment. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this one's pretty straightforward. I'm actually going to do it in silence. It's all going to be single crochet stitches. So again, just make sure that you have the right counts after every row, because you can accidentally, you know, add one, lose one, and your count will be way off. So right now it's okay because it's all single crochet stitches, but when we get back to doing parentheses and all this stuff, it's not going to be a fun time if you realize that you're missing or you have an extra stitch. So let me actually just count this backwards for myself. Okay. All right. So I'm going to be doing this in silence. Alright, so I completed round 9 through 14, and you might notice that your project is curling in, and that's natural, that's fine. But what you want to do is flip this inside out, because this is the excess piece from the magic ring, and it's just, you know, not the right side, so you want to flip it inside out to get the right side out. Now I'm a little concerned because this is all we have left of the oatmeal, and we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more rounds to go, on top of the fact that we have to use this oatmeal color again for the arms. So this is what I'm saying. Not for nothing, these boxes may look cute on the outside, but they're altogether horrendous. And I ran out of material for Mike Myers, and then I just ended up using my own yarn. It shouldn't be that way at all. And I even made my stitching a little tighter than I normally would. You know, I'm just terribly disappointed with this kit. Comment below, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're faring better than I am in the material department. But we're going to move on to round 15. And so we've got to do some single crochet stitches. So let's do that now. And we are going to learn a new stitch. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So after you do your single crochet stitches, we are going to be doing another set of instructions in parentheses. And we're going to be doing this 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so let me just mark off this last stitch as the beginning of the first parenthesis. So we're going to be doing a decreasing stitch. Let me show you what that is. So we're basically going to take 2 single crochet stitches and turn it into 1. To do that, stick your hook into the next stitch. You're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Then we're going to go into the next stitch over, and then we're going to yarn over and pull up another loop. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. We're just going to yarn over and we're going to pull through all 3 loops. So that's basically a decreasing stitch. We took these 2 stitches and we ended up with 1. So in this parentheses, we're going to be alternating a decreasing stitch with single crochet stitches. So let's do the single crochet stitches now. Okay, and then I'm going to mark the last stitch, indicating we're doing the second parenthesis now. So let me show you again how to do a decreasing stitch. We're going to take 2 stitches and turn it into 1. Stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Then stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So now we're going to do our single crochet stitches. All right, and then I'm going to take my marker and we're going to mark the last stitch I made, indicating we're going to start the 3rd parenthesis. So you guys, I'm going to show you how to do a decreasing stitch one more time. So stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Then stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Alright, so now you can do your single crochet stitches. Alright, so I'm going to put my marker in, indicating that we're going to be doing the 4th parenthesis. There's no way this is making it. I'm going to have to use my white yarn, and I'm really, I'm not happy. Let's just say that. Alright. So from here on out, we're going to be doing, we're going to be alternating our decreasing stitches with single crochet stitches. So 2 more times. So you can rewind this video until you feel confident enough to do it on your own. But I'm going to do the last 2 parentheses, and then we still have a bit of instruction after that. Okay. One last time. All right, so from here, we have to do a decreasing stitch with some single crochet stitches. I'm going to remove this marker and replace it under the last stitch we made. So you see what I'm saying about the markers? These definitely help me keep track of my stitching. Now that that's done and over with, I can remove these. And I'm just going to count the round before I move on to the next one. Okay, so from here, we're on round 16. What we're doing, this is a simple parenthesis. We have to alternate decreasing stitches with single crochet stitches. Alright, so I am running out officially. I'm just going to use white. This is going to look not right, but at this point I can really care less. If you can sound in my tone, I'm really annoyed. But I've opened the 4 kits that Five Below have offered, and they're all either missing material or their instructions are a nightmare. And like with the Dollar Tree ones, those are just declining in itself. And I said it before, like the Dollar Tree ones are at least $1.25, but either way it's still $1.25 of somebody's hard-earned money. So it's not fair if these kits are really just gypping you. And this one right here, in all 4 boxes of mine, are a huge gyp, you know. And I'm really glad it's happening to me, and I'm sharing this video with you guys, because then you can make up your mind whether you want this or not. Could you go out and get your own yarn? Yes. I have a ton of yarn. I don't need any more, and I'm not gonna go and find something the same color. It's just no. So I'm just tying these 2 together, and we're just gonna use this. Alright, I took a break, got something to eat. Let's do this with a little bit more pep. Alright, so I just gotta pick up where I left off. You know, Mike Myers was a fairly big doll. So, I mean, not for nothing, I think Chucky might end up being just as big. So, I mean, I think they would have been fine if they just made it smaller. Whoops. Alright, I think I'm on my last one here. Alright, so this is going to be a half and half. We're going to have half the head oatmeal, the other half it's going to be white. And this white I got from the Dollar Tree. I really need something quick, and I wasn't at our regular hobby store, so we stopped by a Dollar Tree, and they do sell little spools of yarn, so I got a little spool of yarn. That's this. Okay. Alright, so now we have to place the plastic eyes on the head in your desired location or match image shown on box. Alright, well, the only thing about that is that if we have half a head, how are we supposed to know where it's going to be? So let's just say, alright, so you know what? I think for me, you can place your eyes now if you want, match it to the box. I'm going to go ahead and do the last round has 12 single crochet stitches, and I think that hole is big enough for me to slip my hand in, but we'll see. So if you want to place the eyes, place them now. Otherwise, pause it. Otherwise, you don't have to pause it, because I'm going to move on, and I'm going to, the last possible minute or last possible round I can do to stick my hand in the head, because I honestly don't know where to place them, and I don't want to place them too high or too low. So, alright, so round 17. Aren't there scars on here? I think we should sew the scars on now too, but I guess we'll do that later. Alright, so for round 17 we have to do some single crochet stitches. And then we are doing a parenthesis, which has alternating decreasing stitches with single crochet stitches 5 times. So If you end up having to tie two pieces of yarn together and you have something like this, you want to try to leave that stuff in the back as much as possible, because you don't want it sticking out of your project. So let me do this. And this yarn is thicker, so it's gonna look bigger. Let me just put a marker before that decreasing stitch because I want to count how many times I'm doing this. All right. All right, so for this last part of it, we have to do a decreasing stitch and then some single crochet stitches. All right, so now I'm just going to replace this marker and put it under the last stitch I made, and then the markers that I had used for this parenthesis thing. Taking that out. All right, now it has you stuffing. This is still a large cavity for us to fit stuffing and do the eyes and have her hands in there, so I'm going to keep going. And then we're going to do round 18. So for round 18, we have a parenthesis, and we're doing single crochet stitches and decreasing stitches all the way around. Again, I apologize if there's background noise. There's not much I can do about it. All right, replacing the marker, putting it under the last stitch we made. We have 2 more rounds to go. We still have enough room to fit our hand in here, which is crazy. 2 rounds to go. It should be a lot smaller than this, I think. But anyway, we still have enough room to put the eyes in, so I'm just going to wait till the end to get a full picture of how big this head is, so that when I put my eyes in, it's a little bit more proportional. But for round 19, we're going to be doing alternating decreasing stitches with single crochet stitches. All the way around. Alright, I'm going to remove the marker, put this in the last stitch we made, and we have 1 more round left. And this is still fairly big, but you know what, I think it's getting to a point where I can pick out an area to do the eyes. So go into your little pouch here and let us take out all this stuff. We're going to attach the eyes. Okay, we have the 2 safety eyes with its backing. I'm going to take a look at this. It seems like it's right in the middle, so what you could do is find the prettiest side. And it looks like the seam is right here, so we can just half this way. And I guess I'm going to put this here. What you can do is count the number of stitches maybe this has. So let's say 1's there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's say 10 stitches in between. So wherever it is, let's place our eye. Okay. And we're going to put the backing this way, like it's cupping the eye. And you're going to hear some clicks. You want to make it click to the farthest that it can go. And then we're going to count 10 stitches over. At least that's what it looks like in on the box. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10. You want to stick that eye in there. And then we're going to put the backing in. Okay. So my thing came out here. And it comes with stuffing. Now, seeing as if there wasn't enough material to complete the head, 100% there's probably not enough material to fill it. So what I recommend is buying your own bag of stuffing. I bought a huge bag of stuffing on Amazon, got myself 32 ounces. I'm definitely going to be using that. I use that all the time with these kits, especially if I don't have them and there were requests via email. But I'm going to take some here and we're just going to start stuffing this and see where we are. I like my dolls to be a bit firm, not too firm, but definitely not plushy. If that's your thing, that's your thing. You'll probably have to do that considering I don't think they're going to give you enough stuffing. But I'm just going to put as much as I need because, like I said, I do have an extra huge bag of stuffing here. So I'm going to do one more row. And the 12 single crochet stitches that I told you in the end might be still enough for me to stick my hand in there or any extra stuffing. So it does also say stuff as you go. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so for round 20 we have to alternate single crochet stitches with decreasing stitches all the way around. And hold on a sec. And so after we do that, I'm going to show you how to fasten off. So try not to crochet your stuffing because it'll come out of your project and it'll be messy. And then as you get smaller with your project, you want to try to minimize the size of your loops because it's going to create huge gaps in your project if you go too loose with your stitches. And it's kind of tough to keep them small with the pressure. The stuffing is kind of pushing it out, so you have to kind of counteract that, and that's a little difficult to do. This is starting to look like the Mr. Monopoly guy. I should can this whole project and just create a Monopoly guy crochet kit. Listen, these instructions, they're actually not that bad compared to a couple of the other boxes, or one of the boxes. If they could just give you enough material, it would be great, I think. Because you get a big doll. And it looks, you know, if you've seen the Mike Myers one, it looks pretty close. It looks like Funko Pop, but crochet form. Alright, so now I'm going to remove my marker. We don't have to replace it under the last stitch we made because we're going to fasten off. And see, there's plenty of room to put any more if you want to. So to fasten off, now we potentially will be sewing this to the body. So what you want to do just in case is get yourself some extra tail. Anyway, what I mean by that is we're going to take this feeder yarn and wrap it around the circumference of this hole 2 times comfortably. And then I'm going to cut this off from the spool. So now we just have this long length of yarn, and we're going to fasten this off. So to fasten off, you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to pull through the loop all the way out. Okay, then to tighten it, just pull on that feeder yarn and you're good to go. So from here you can kind of push to see how much stuffing you want to put. If it looks dimply, I would add more stuffing so that it pushes all that dimples out. Okay, and then it says weave in end. Let's just see where this is taking us first. So you can leave this for now. Alright, so I'm trying to find the best place to kind of stop or start next, just because I got about 30 more minutes before the 2-hour mark. And I can't really do a video longer than that. I mean, it could be close, but it gets crazy trying to edit and upload and all that. So we're just going to do the body, and I'm going to look at the clock, and wherever we leave off is where we leave off, unfortunately. So bear with me. I'm going to try to post these consecutively so that if you get through the first part, you have the second part ready to go. But we're going to unravel this, and this is looking like a hot mess too. Oh look, there's the other side, so I don't have to search for it. Okay, we're going to grab this other end here. Okay, I'm going to put this around my little cylinder thing here, and we're going to have to do the magic ring. So I'll show you this again. So we pretty much just have to take the end of the yarn here. We're going to wrap this around 3 times around your finger. Have some overage so you can put your middle finger on it like this. Then we're going to straighten out these strands. Stick the hook underneath the strands like this. I'm going to pull the needle out, or hook out, and I'm going to hook this strand and pull it through underneath these 2. So when you hook it, you then want to turn your hook a little sideways so you can slip it underneath those 2 strands, and you're going to be in something like this. Then we're going to yarn over, and then we're going to pull the strand through the loop, and then we're going to let go of our middle finger and slip this off of our index. Alright, so now we're going to be doing round 1, and we're going to put in the single crochet stitches. So we've already gone through doing the single crochet stitches step by step, so at this point you should be good to go. But what we need to go over is how to close this off. So take your hand, overhand your crochet hook. We're going to gently grip the bottom part here of your magic ring. I'm going to get this feeder yarn off my finger, and we're going to pull this excess piece. We're going to watch for which loop goes in first. So pull this. And once you've identified which loop is moving, you want to pull the lower end out, whatever's on the same side as this excess piece. So take that loop and pull this lower end out. If you're having a hard time pulling it through, then you have to just lighten up your grip. Now, I actually had comments of having problems doing this, and the only thing that I can think of is if you accidentally pierced your yarn. That's why you have to make sure that you don't split it or pierce it or whatever. See, piercing it is like this. You see how it's going in between it? You want to make sure that it goes nice and in around, just never in the middle. And so you should be able to pull this. So now from here we have one loop left. What we're going to do is pull this excess piece, and that one is going to disappear. Then to make sure that you close this really tight and get all that excess yarn out, we're going to pull in the opposite direction and a little bit up, like a 45-degree angle. You're going to feel it move just a little bit. You don't have to pull too hard, just enough to get that little bit left. And now you have a closed magic ring. Take your marker and slip it under the last stitch we made, and then we're going to move on to round 2. So for round 2 we are doing single crochet stitches. So no, for this round 2 we're going to be doing increasing stitches, which is the 2 single crochet stitches and a stitch all the way around. And to do that, because after the first yarn it's always a little tough to see where the next stitch is, you want to count back from your hook the number of stitches that round 1 needed, and you're going to stick your hook into that last stitch. And that's where we're going to start our increasing stitches. Knowing that this doesn't leave you with enough yarn, now I'm kind of like, I almost forgot, maybe I should knit my stitches a lot tighter so that I conserve the yarn. Alright, so now after completing round 2, I'm going to again remove the marker, put it under the last stitch we made, and then we're going to do round 3. So round 3 we have single crochet stitches, and we are going to be alternating that with an increasing stitch all the way around. So let's do that now. Alright, so I'm going to take my marker and we're going to put it under the last stitch we made, and we're going to do round 4. So for round 4 we have alternating increasing stitches with single crochet stitches all the way around. Alright, so I'm going to remove the marker, place it under the last stitch we made, and then we're going to do rounds 5 through 8. So if this is 5, 6, 7, and 8, and we have to do single crochet stitches all the way around, so that shouldn't be too bad. What is going to be bad, not too bad, is we're going to change to red in the last round. So I'm going to do everything in silence with the exception of I'm going to stop short one single crochet stitch before the end of the 8th round, because I'm going to show you how to make a nice clean transition to red. So let me just gather up some yarn here, and I'm going to do this in silence. So I've got about 10 more minutes left. I'm going to show you how to change to red. I didn't do the last single crochet stitch here. So what we're going to do is you're going to pull this crochet hook all the way out like this. You want this huge loop, and this is just to make sure that you don't lose this stitch. We're going to set this aside. Then we have to grab our red. Okay, and we're going to be working with multiple colors here, so it might get a little crazy. But we're going to try not to go crazy ourselves. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. Take your ring, pinky, and thumb and hold one end, and then we're going to take our index and middle finger and hold the other end like this. So what we're going to want to do next is take your crochet hook and lie it perpendicular to the yarn like this. Then we're going to go down with our hook, around, and back up again to create a loop around our hook. You can easily slide it up and down this line here. We're going to slide it all the way down to our thumb. Then take the middle finger on your right hand and just hold it where it crosses, because we have to let go of the left. And we're going to gather up some feeder yarn. Then what we're going to do is you're going to repinch this end. You want to go lower than you did before. And we're going to slide the hook closer to the thumb again. And where it crosses, you just want to pinch with your thumb and middle finger so that your hook can no longer slide up the yarn. Then we're going to yarn over. And we're going to pull the strand through the loop, creating a knot. We're going to overhand our hook. We're going to repinch this end here. You don't want to lose that end. We're going to push this knot towards the left thumb, and we're pushing it until it gets tight or until it hits your thumb and you can't move it anymore. Once you get to that position, we're going to take our thumb and middle finger and just pull out that excess piece just a little bit. This is going to minimize the waste. So this is how much yarn we wasted. Not bad. So now I'm going to hold onto this knot and we're going to just gently slide it up towards the hook. You want to leave some room so that you can slip this off your hook. And we're going to set it aside. And we're going to grab our project again. Slip your hook into that large loop that we created and tighten it back up by pulling on the feeder yarn. And then we're going to finish our last single crochet stitch. So with the dark blue, stick your hook into the next stitch and we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop so that we have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to take this feeder yarn and we're just going to hold it aside. You can use your ring and pinky to get it out of the way, but you want to take the red and slip it onto the hook like that. Then gather up some feeder yarn around your finger. What we're going to do next is pull this red through the 2 loops, and this is going to make a clean transition to red. So we completed that single crochet stitch, but now we have red going on. So from here, we're going to be doing round 9. We're going to leave this on here because we have to transition back to dark blue at some point. But I'm going to take my marker, remove it, slip it under the last stitch we made, which is that dark blue. And then we're going to do round 9. So round 9, we're going to be working back loops only. So I'm going to show you what that is. And then we're going to do single crochet stitches all the way around, and we're going to transition to white. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to stop at the last single crochet stitch like we did with the blue, and I'm going to show you how to transition to the white. But first, let's talk about back loop, front loop. So here we have our stitches. We have the 2 loops of the braid that I mentioned way early on in this video. And here's the front loop and here's the back loop. So if we're looking at this way, we can flip this inside out. This is going to help us not, you know, look at the right stuff. And you can tuck in these pieces in here. So here's the next stitch. Here's the front loop. Here's the back loop. When we stick our hook into the back loop only, we're going to be sticking that in here. See, I'm going through the back loop only, and then that front loop is being left alone. So like I said, here's the front loop. We're not using that. We're going to use the back loop. That's the back loop back here. So stick your hook in that and do your single crochet stitch. So let's just do one. Okay, so you see how we did that clean transition, and we used the back loop only. You look close, you still have that front loop chilling there. You're going to see a line of front loops all the way around. So let's do this again. Stick your hook into the back loop only of the next stitch right here. Okay, be sure not to pierce the yarn. All right, then we're going to do our single crochet stitch. And now we have 2 single crochet stitch back loop only, and here you have 2 front loops just chilling there. One more time with you guys. Stick your hook into the next stitch, back loop only, right here. Okay, we're going to do our single crochet stitch. And now we have 3 single crochet stitches. So let's just complete down the line. Back loop only, you can repeat this part as much as you need until you get comfortable, but I'm just going to move along with this, and then again I'm going to stop at the last stitch because I'm going to show you how to transition to the white, and then before we continue the next round, we're just going to end the video here. And we'll just have to start the next video right where we left off. So the head and the body usually take very long. I try not to do both of them or get them both back to back just because it does take a long time. But in this case, I can't do any of the other body parts. It seems like with all the chaos of color, because Chucky is quite a colorful character, we're just going to stick in order here. It's best to just go in order. Okay. Okay, last single crochet stitch here. I'm going to remove the crochet hook by pulling on this loop here, making it really long so we don't lose this stitch. I'm going to set this aside. Then I'm going to take the white yarn that we have here. Okay. And then we have to split this open. And I see the other end piece right here. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to cast on with the slip knot. Oops, I hit the camera. All right, so again, take your ring and pinky and thumb, hold one end, then take your index and middle and hold the other end. Then grab your crochet hook. We're going to lie it perpendicular to the yarn, and we're going to go down, out, and around so that we can slide our hook up and down the yarn here. Slide it down towards your thumb. Take your right middle finger and just place that over where it crosses, because we're going to let go of our left. Grab some feeder yarn. Pinch the end here and slide the hook farther down close to your thumb. And where it crosses, pinch it so that you can no longer slide your yarn up and down. Then we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull that through the loop. Overhand your hook. Repinch your end, and then we're going to push that knot towards the thumb. Stop until you hit your thumb or until the knot is too tight for you to push anymore. And then we're just going to take our thumb and middle finger and pull that excess piece out to make that knot snug. And then grab the knot, slide it up towards the hook, but you want to leave space because we're going to transition the white. So remove this off your hook. Get your project again, stick your hook into that loop and tighten it up with the feeder yarn. And then we're going to start our last single crochet stitch. So with the red, you want to stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop so that you have 2 loops on your hook. We're going to drop the red feeder yarn. You can hold that aside with your ring and pinky, and then take your white and slip that onto your hook. Gather some feeder yarn, and then we're going to pull this white through the 2 loops like that. So let me just check to see if we're changing back to red at any point. Yeah, we are. So we're going to keep the blue and the red on here now. Remove the marker, place it under the last stitch we made. And I'm going to stop this here, you guys. In the meanwhile, you can continue with the rest of the rounds if you want, but we're going to do round 10 when we come back in the part 2 video. Comment below, let me know how it's going for you. A little disappointed with the lack of material, but we're going to work through it. Definitely just had to have a moment. But now that that's done, here, let's take this head back out. So hopefully this is what it's looking like right now for you. At any rate, I am holding a special NFL giveaway on my original channel, and I'm offering it on this channel because I do think that it will be beneficial to you if you enter that giveaway. The winner is going to be getting a bunch of goodies, as well as a gift card, along with a 1-hour StreamYard virtual session where you can situate your phone, camera, something like this. Show me the projects you're working on. I can help you out if you're stuck in anything, or if you want to learn how to knit or crochet one-on-one. Or if you are inspired to start your own channel or currently have a channel and seeking some advice, we could talk about that. But anyway, all that information is in my description box, the link to my original channel and the rules to the giveaway. So thank you so much, you guys, for watching. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.